following video content was submitted to me anonymously, and it contains the most disturbing set of facts I've seen in a long time as it relates to false and or questionable teachings, beliefs, and practices within the Christian church. I've been able to independently verify most of the claims made in this video by interviewing multiple sources who contacted me anonymously and independently. I have but one thing to say to Tony Smith, and that is, I'm just the messenger.
With a congregation of less than 50 working adults, Tony Smith draws a salary of approximately $9,000 per month. This salary is the result of a $1,500 per month increase he demanded so he could get the new $300,000 home.
Email me, I'm on my way down here. Baby, I'll pay your gas to turn around. If you 5 minutes away, call me. I'll meet you and give you the money so you can make it on back. I know you said, Pastor Smith ain't the only one. Go find somebody else. Go find them and see if they'll put up with you. You lost your invitation here.
In addition to his generous salary and stately new home, Tony Smith drives a nearly $30,000 truck. All the while, his mother, who is a member of his church, relies on public transportation, that is, the MARTA bus, to get to and from church. After his interview on the Lexi Show on the Word Network, Tony Smith brought a 52-inch big screen television into the church to showcase his performance on the show. It is reported that he stood in front of the congregation, pulling up his belt up in a proud manner and saying how they would want his autograph afterwards. Tony Smith teaches a myriad of false doctrines, including the fact that Christians must observe the law of Moses by keeping the Sabbath and various feasts and other holy days like the Day of Atonement. Smith also teaches that he is a mediator with the power to recommend to God whether or not members of his church go to hell or not.
Sit around, tell them lies on me. Now mess around there, your soul gonna be required. They don't believe you can do that, do they? You didn't know I could do that, did you? You sit around playing around. Sister, I tell you and everybody else out there, don't you mess around letting no other hypocrite on that boy send you to hell. You better keep your mouth closed. You don't know about saying you better pray and tell God give you understanding.
Tony Smith has a very peculiar relationship with the men in his church. Smith, who at age 39 is the oldest man in his church, constantly has young men from the church around him throughout every day of the week.
Hello, my name is PJ. He preaches against homosexuality, but yet he goes before a simple-minded congregation in the flesh, fantasizing about me and other homosexuals, what I do with my ex-boyfriend and where I kiss him and how I ride him like a horse, and he has the motions down packed and everything. If really wanted to preach homosexuality is wrong, you could say homosexuality is wrong, but you don't just do that, you go all into it.
Man, mouth going up, talking about in the mouth. Isn't that right? Yeah, PJ tried. PJ do it on the other end, though. When he was hitting on that man back, talking about, get up, get up, get up, he know I wore him out.
Just look at his musician and see what you think for yourself. There are people who come up and read for him. Look at them people, pay them close attention. Even, I know, they say it takes one to know one. They say we are not ignorant to the devices of Satan. So of course I would know the devices of homosexuality since I'm struggling with it and been struggling with it. Even Pastor Tony Smith in his motions, you can see it in his motion.
He often keeps these men out late at night, either at church, at his home, or in restaurants, where they spend time gossiping and playing video and card games. Tony Smith had his church secretary send a cucumber and a jar of Vaseline, obviously meant as a crude sexually related insult, to the offices of Agendal Harrison Bryant, pastor of Empowerment Temple in Baltimore, Maryland. Smith later reported this without any sense of shame on his own television/internet broadcast. Upon seeing a man and woman in his church known to be interested in marriage, Tony Smith dishonored the woman in the following fashion. He called the man into his office for a meeting, leaving his bride to be outside. Once inside, Tony Smith's first words to the man were, "Did you get some of that?" The man, startled, asked Smith to repeat himself. Tony Smith again said, "Did you get some of that? If you didn't, you should have." Tony Smith, publicly and in front of his congregation, has broken up several marriages or potential marriages by forbidding people to date, or by sowing discord. Also in front of his congregation, he discourages married couples sitting together and derides parents for allowing their children to participate in school sports. It is also important to note that Tony Smith pays for his meals with a credit card in the church's name. Also while at dinner, a favorite activity of Tony Smith's is to engage in gossip about other church members who are not present. He is often rude to restaurant staff by not tipping and once calling the server a chicken head for failing to bring his sweet tea. Tony Smith has permanently forbidden people from attending the church for these reasons: A. For participating in T-bill martial arts. B. For not paying tithes. C. For engaging in independent ministry activities on MySpace. D. For associating with or dating former church members dismissed by Tony Smith. E. For refusing to follow his decrees against wearing certain clothes and shoes, going certain places, associating with certain people, or missing church services. Tony Smith rides around to the homes of the single women in the church to look for familiar cars in their driveways. In several cases, he has supposedly identified the cars of men from the church and either publicly reported this information during church services or permanently forbade the man and woman from attending the church. Publicly and in front of his congregation where children are always present, Tony Smith routinely engages in yelling, issuing threats, slander, name-calling, and the use of crude and offensive language to describe people who disagree with him, using terms like stupid, ignorant, sissy, and so on. He often dishonors and demeans women by referring to female body parts as chicks and buzzard eggs.
That's why he is so unconfident and so hateful. That is also, if you look at how he acts like he hates women, it's because he's jealous of women, because probably deep down in his heart, he probably wants to be one.
Like a singer, how I said, one of them things make you go,